Hey everyone, so today we're going to go over trying to resurrect this 2011 MacBook Pro using DOS-Dude 1's method of flashing the firmware on the GMUX. And I'd also like to say thanks to Rossman for his input in the video that he did with DOS-Dude 1, kind of detailing this process as well and exactly how DOS-Dude 1 was able to come up with the fix. So real quick, I'm going to show you what I have here as far as materials to do the repair, and then we'll jump right in. Okay, so here I've got a ThinkPad T420, nothing special, it's just running Windows 10. Just needed a machine that was 64-bit. I have a very fine tip solder iron thanks to donation from my good friend Jonathan. This is a Lattice programmer that was ordered. It's the same one that's actually listed on DOS-Dude's page, and I've got some alligator clips here. I didn't have any other kind of wires that I could use to actually solder to the pads on the logic board. And here's some electronics flux. I know it's not gel, it's not probably not the best stuff, whatever. Not that worried about it. And some solder here. So this is our dead machine, or not dead but crippled screwdriver set. I've got a Phillips head and a star bit here. So that's all that I think I need as far as materials, and we'll cover more as we go. So let's get started. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and get all these screws out of the bottom. Now I'll fast forward through this so you guys don't have to just sit and watch me take out screws. Alright, so here is the victim. So what we're going to do, I know from the reading that I've done that we want to disconnect the drive. So we're going to do that. I haven't had any problems with power or anything. I've thoroughly diagnosed this, and I do know that the problem is definitely the discrete GPU. So I'm going to see if I can get a little bit better shot, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so first things first, we're going to remove our two Phillips head screws from the retaining bar for the solid state drive.
Is that who invented them? Philip?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Phillips with an apostrophe, yes.
Was he from like the Middle East or something?
I'm going to pull up on this little tab and remove our SATA connector. And we'll just set that aside.
Like Mexico?
So that gets the hard drive out of the way.
Basically the same place except it's down.
Now we're going to work on locating the pads that we know we need to solder everything to.
They're involved.
Alright, so this is the website, computeco.de/dmux is the web address here. So it gives you the ability to actually purchase the flashing software and the key to actually activate everything. But what we're going to be looking for on this particular setup, we've got a 15-inch board. So we are going to take a look and see if we can find these pads right here on the actual logic board. Okay everyone, so I apologize for the graininess in advance. I'm doing this on my iPhone 7 Plus, but our pads that we're going to be soldering to, this group of pads right here. So let's get started. Okay, so these little alligator clip wires are all that I have. So what we're going to do is these are going to become our go-betweens. So one tip of these will be soldered to the board. The other side will go to the Lattice programmer. And I need my snips, which I can't find. Tell you what, before I do that, Not sure how much length I'll end up having left. I know I need 6 of these, so I'm just going to cut these into thirds. That'll be plenty enough. Close enough. And close enough. So these are now our donor wires. So we'll strip the ends on these. Working with what I got here. You should use wire strippers. Yeah, no, I don't have any here. So what I'm going to do is just take a razor blade, roll that. And I'm just going to do this same process to all the wires to get them ready. I understand it may not be the correct type of wire, yada yada yada. Again, working with what I got. I have any reason to believe that this would not work this way. So until proven otherwise, we're going to go with it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just pre-tin the ends of these wires. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this flux. Just get a little bit on there. Again, not so. There's nothing precise about this at all. One thing I did forget to mention earlier is probably be a good idea for you to have a sponge for when you do this stuff. So get a little bit of solder. And really what we're getting out of this is going to make a continuous contact surface. This is also going to make these wires rigid enough to be inserted into the ends of the lattice programmer cable. Okay, so that's those done. You'll notice on the other side here, I did leave the ends of these wires much shorter. These will be the ends that actually get soldered to the pads. I don't want a lot of exposed wire there because I don't want any of them to touch each other during the programming process and cause some sort of issue with bridging a connection between any of them. So that's that. I'm going to proceed on with tinning all of these tips, and then we will go to the next step. Okay, so this is what the actual machine is doing. So we can try to boot, and I'll be able to sign into my profile. However, after that, the machine will load about halfway. And then we'll just get a solid white screen. Sometimes it makes it further than others. Generally it goes about halfway, and you can see it started off fast and now it's really slowed down. And there we go. White screen, goes a little bit dim, and this is about 99 times out of 100 what it will do. Every now and then it'll actually boot all the way into the OS, but as soon as it actually gets loaded, and anything in the software actually kicks over to tell the system to use the discrete card, it will immediately it'll immediately die, or the screen will completely freak out, and there you go. It just turns itself. Yeah. So whatever you want to call that, it's basically just screwing up. Oh, okay, it attempted to reboot. So anyway, that's what it's doing. So let's see where we can get by trying to bypass the GPU. Okay, so we are back to the ThinkPad. I'm on the Compute Code website here, and I have downloaded this particular driver, and demux kit. So what that does is I've just copied this. It's going to give you a drivers folder in demux. This is the actual flashing software in the drivers folder. So what I've done, per the instructions on Compute Code, I've downloaded everything I have. I actually have my Lattice programmer is now USB plugged into our ThinkPad here. So I'm going to go into the drivers folder and I'm going to double click this ISP driver install 64, and we're just going to do all drivers install. If your LSC USB cable is not connected, please plug it in. It is plugged in, so we're going to proceed and see what happens. Okay, it's going to ask us again, looks like probably for each option. Install is completed. Very good. And so we will close that out now. And then when we go back to the demux hardware, that's actually going to pull this up, and this is where we're going to enter our license key. So this is where we actually have to make the purchase for that license key, which is right here on the license key site. So I'm going to do that and we will be right back. Okay, so now we're going to make our solder connections to the board. I had just a little bit of flux. My friends are literally trolling me while I'm trying to do this. Again, I do not have specialized equipment for this, so what we get is what we get. Okay, there's one. And there's no rhyme or reason to this as far as color choice or anything like that, because we're going to just make sure everything's plugged up correctly according to the diagram that's included. Okay, there we go. So that is our solder connection made to the board. So now we're going to go back to our diagram and make sure that we get our wires connected correctly. Alright, so we're getting our wires ready here, and as you can see on the diagram, top will be, see, purple's TCK, green is ground, blue TMS, orange is TDI, red TDO, and our blue is our 3-volt connector. So get this wiring harness plugged in and get these fed to the correct places, and I will show you what that looks like as we go here. Alright, so now based on our earlier picture, we're going to make our connections. So I did notice some of the colors here seem to be different, but we're going to work our way through it and see what we get. So the first one we need is TCK. So we're going to look for TCK. TCK is white in this case. It's labeled as purple on the diagram, but that's okay. I'm just taking the sections that I pre-tinned earlier, and those are going straight into the connectors, just like so. See if I can get a little bit better shot of that. You guys can see that there. So back out, and we will keep going. Alright, the next one is going to be the ground. So we're going to look for ground. Probably, no, it's not green on here. So ground, probably brown. No. I'm just going to shut up until I find it. In this case, it is black. So our next wire here is ground. Okay, we've made our ground connection. The next one is going to be TMS. Okay, I have TMS. In this case, it is purple. Third wire down, TMS. Okay, there's that. Next one is going to be TDI. There is a TDI cable, and right there it is. So that's our next connection in line, number 4 connection. Okay, so we've made that now. So the next one is going to be TDO. It's number 7 connector. So that should be the brown wire on here. And it is. There's that connection. And our final one will be, looks like 3v3, which is not actually done on here, but if I understand correctly, yeah, I don't actually see a 3v3 on here. If I'm not mistaken, that's VCC. So the VCC will be the red wire. That's correct. So then we'll go here and plug in. And now we have made that connection as well. Okay, so that is all of our connections. So now, in order to see if we are correctly connected, I'll take this and plug into our laptop. And we do have, let's see, we have an orange light on the box right now. So we've got to actually apply power here first. So I'm going to take a power cord from my MacBook Pro.
Oh, that's right. Wayne Shorter plays a Series 3 now.
When you look on here, everything is actually noted as to what those wires are on the wiring harness. I have my USB plugged into my laptop over here. So now we're going to open this up, and I've got my power cable plugged in. We'll open this up. Actually, fire up the MacBook, and I do have chime. I know that's super quiet. And now if we look here at the box, I've got a green light here, which means I have a good connection. So now move this over here. Sorry about the bad camera work. We will pull up our flashing software and click on Flash Gmux. Code execution cannot proceed because looks like a driver was not found. Reinstalling the program may fix the problem. I was supposed to download this C++ redistributable file, and that's where the missing drivers were when you guys saw that first attempt. So after installing that, which is clearly outlined on the compute code, which I missed, and attempting to, I just closed out the Flash utility, reopened it, applied the license again, and now, as you can see, the MacBook is off. So we're going to attempt to restart again. So what I'm going to do here, real quick, before I put everything back together, I'm just going to stick this in. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect my hard drive. And at the risk of having to do this again, I am actually going to go ahead and remove my wires here. I'm sorry, this has been kind of a convoluted process. I just wanted you guys to be able to see this entire process all the way through as it was going to happen for me. So that's my wires off of there. Go ahead and drop this little guy back on here. Let's see what happens when we try to boot up. Well, that's not good. Let's unplug this. I believe I did see him unplug this first. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I had to unplug the power cable first. Now I'm getting a boot. Got the Apple logo as I did last time. And now I'll go back in here, put in my password. And we'll see if I actually get to boot into macOS this time. Status bar is still slowing down and stopping the same way that it did before. Oh, okay. That's much different. Wow. And there we have it. That's awesome. Okay. It looks like it's picked back up right where it left off when it crashed before I had done anything with it. So there you have it, folks. We do have a successful flash to completely bypass the discrete video card on this early 2011 MacBook Pro. I hope that this helped some folks on just the nuts and bolts of what it actually takes to get through this entire process step by step. And I also definitely want to give credit to DOS Dude 1. I know that he has a counterpart that he mentioned that had been working on this with him. I apologize, I do not remember the name. And Lewis Rossman also for highlighting DOS Dude 1's work on this particular fix. So thank you very much, and hope this helped.